Hey guys, how the hell are you? It is now the end of the year, and you know what that means. It's time for lists. It's time for the year-end best of lists. So, let's just dive right in. So yes, that's right. It is now December of 2022, and it is time to go over those new releases that came out in 2022 that really tripped my trigger. Stuff that, honestly, I just couldn't stop listening to, and therefore I need to let you guys know about it so that hopefully maybe you guys can backtrack a little bit, be like, oh my god, that really is an incredible record. Thank you so much, Arnold Plays Guitar, for letting us know about it. By the way, if you also want to know a little bit more real time of all these awesome new releases that are coming out, head to Spotify and check out my playlist, Arnold Plays Guitar's New Release Radar. I update it every single week with the new releases that are coming out, mostly for my own benefit, just because I am so insatiable when it comes to new metal records that are coming out. But hopefully you guys can follow it and maybe pick up on a few things here or there too. Maybe you guys can discover something really awesome. Give it a follow, check out the new releases, hit play, hit shuffle, discover something cool. So firstly, before we dive into the top 10 albums of the year, I do want to post up an honorary mention here because there was a release that came out towards the end of the year that really got my juices flowing a little bit. And it's honestly, it's just an EP. It is really just 4 quality songs, so you can't really call it a full length. You can't call it an album. But I really wanted to talk real quick about Euphrosyne Kyries. This is an awesome band from Greece that I recently discovered, that a 4-piece band, female lead singer, who honestly is very versatile, has the aggression thing going on, has the kind of wispy, soft vocal thing going on, but also kind of dives into like Maria Bring style, like kind of croaked out vocal territory a little bit. But the music therein is this awesome, doomy, melancholic kind of post-black metal stuff that is the kind of thing that in recent years has really gotten me going, and I thought this was super quality material. Probably the best post-black metal release of the year for me. My one quibble, my one thing I want to draw attention to here though is that it's only 4 songs, it's a half-hour long release. 7 minutes of those 30 minutes are devoted to interludes and these wispy little intros. And damn it, cut out all of that filler and instead give me more of the killer. Please give me more of that kick-ass music, because honestly, those 4 incredible songs were very cohesive, and all those little interludes and intros were just kind of distracting. Please, Euphrosyne, give me more music, and then I'm expecting an album of the year contender, hopefully. Now, number 10 on my list of albums of the year, I gotta give it up for Once Human, Scarweaver. Wow, imagine this. A guy that used to be in Machine Head and Soulfly is putting out incredible groove metal. Wow, that is such a surprise, he said with a sarcastic tone. But no, seriously, this record was fantastic. Super catchy choruses, super aggressive vocals. The riffage is just pummeling and in your face throughout the entire record. Just such a great release. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. You're doing yourselves a favor. But I thought this was a great way to kick off the top 10 list. I couldn't stop listening to it, and I couldn't stop listening to any of the other records on this list either. But god damn, what a great record by Once Human. Coming up next on the list at number 9 is Succumb to Rot by Corpsessed. So, kind of a hilarious band name, but really the music herein is awesome. If you dig your death metal to be kind of slow, churning, and trudging with like all these riffs that you could easily find on like Morbid Angel and Incantation records, this is a great stop for you. Like the riffs were just churning. Calling of the Void, great song on that record. The vocal stylings, the riffage, just awesome. My one flaw that I would point out with this record though is that drummer is honestly the only thing keeping this record from being even higher on the list, because he's kind of a Russian dragon. He's speeding up, he's slowing down. You never know, okay, is he ahead of the beat? Is he behind the beat? Is the band trying to follow him? Is he trying to follow the band? Who the hell knows? But man, if he would just somehow figure out how to play on tempo, maybe even to a click, heaven forbid, this band would be taken to the upper echelons of this sort of miasmic, celestial kind of churning death metal. Such a awesome record, but you could use a little bit of work. That being said, couldn't stop listening to it. Next up on the list at number 8 is The Relegation by Martyrd. Now, real quick, full disclosure, I am friends with a couple of the guys in this band. That doesn't dampen the fact that I just loved this record and put it on repeat over and over and over again. You want to talk old school death metal, like, okay, if you're into bands like Malevolent Creation, Monstrosity, Vader, more recent stuff like Skeletal Remains, Crypta, that sort of thing, this is a band you need to have on your radar. The riffage is just so goddamn good. Super headbang inducing. The vocals on here are fantastic. The screams on top of the death growls. Oh my god, that rhythm section is just really driving those riffs to the forefront even more. This is just the kind of death metal record that we need in 2022. Harkening back to the old school with modern production values and aesthetics, as professionally done as possible while paying homage to those that came before. Coming up next at number 7, Angels Hung from the Arches of Heaven by Goatwhore. This is a band that I've seen countless times, and I've always appreciated them. Whenever I've dove into a record, I thought, wow, this is pretty cool. There's some really killer songs. But I've never really considered myself an actual fan until this record came out. This record is just easily the most cohesive thing that they've ever put out. It's not just a few killer songs and a few killer riffs. It is killer all the way through from start to finish. The performances are fantastic. Brutal Celtic Frost, R&R, Venom style riffage throughout. The band is not afraid to blast a little bit, to chug a little bit, to headbang a little bit. It's all over the place in the best way possible. This is a stellar record. So if you've never really gotten too much into Goatwhore in the past, give them another shot on this new record, because I did, and I am very thankful that I did. Next up, at number 6, let's dive into one-man atmospheric black metal with Black Braid. This was something that came way out of left field for me. It's an unsigned project, but you cannot deny the quality of the music therein. This was something that, like, I was just watching YouTube one day, checking out some music videos, checking out some album previews and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, here comes up this sort of lyric video for a track from Black Braid, and I'm like, wow, this is just enthralling. I can't get enough of this. So when the record came out, equally impressed by literally everything on the record. Incredible performances, especially in the way of vocals. The subject matter is fantastic too. Like, it's very rare that I find myself kind of diving into the lyrics of the band, but the lyrics here are very well crafted, really diving into Native American heritage and the power of nature and that sort of thing. And I just thought this record was a fantastic modern black metal record, focusing more on the riffs, more on being just all and out quality material throughout, not going for that sort of true thing, just wanting to put out incredible quality material. So if that's your thing, if you want black metal that really, really is going to grab hold of you, make you bang your fucking head, this is a record you need to have on your radar. So please check out Black Braid. Coming up next at number 5 is a record that was probably my most eagerly anticipated record of 2022 because I knew it was coming and I couldn't wait for it to come out. When it came out, admittedly, it was a bit of a slow burn for me. It didn't quite grab me as quickly as I was hoping it would. I'm of course talking about Mirage by Garia. So don't get me wrong, it's got all the elements that made the previous recordings from this band awesome, all on full display here. That awesome blackened metal riffage that kind of teeters a little bit into post-black metal territory, but is firmly rooted and anchored in the most angry, the most defiantly angry of black metal stuff. This was just a fantastic record that took a lot of listens for me because I was like, man, is it really as awesome as previous material? But the more I dove in, the more listening experiences I had with it, the more I was like, oh my God, there's so much raw fucking emotion on display on this record that this record, even though you can definitely tell it's from the same band, kind of stands on its own. It's definitely something that fits into their catalog, but it is a standout record for them. So definitely worth checking out if you like your black metal in that same sort of ballpark as bands like Uada or Groza or anything like that, and you haven't yet checked this band out, you're missing out. This is definitely something you need to check out. Thrash metal, you say? No problem. Let's dive into Extinction A.D, Culture of Violence at number 4. Wow, was this record really, really rad. Right from the word go, it caught my attention because I'm immediately picking up the same kind of vibe as newer material from like Overkill and especially like from Onslaught, like that last Onslaught record. Kind of very much in the same ballpark, but there again, modern take on it. Modern mix job, just incredible thrash metal riffage. Definitely some stuff in there that you can kind of pick out are little throwbacks and audio Easter eggs for those of us that appreciate old school thrash metal from the mid 90s. There's even a drum fill that instantly brings to mind Vinnie Paul from Pantera. Obviously that had to have been done out of appreciation. But man, this is a mosh heavy record. If there even is one on this list, it's gotta be this record. Just so goddamn good. If you like your metal thrashy, check out Extinction A.D. because, oh, dude, this record I just kept coming back to all year. You want to talk consistency? Let's talk about Amorphis. Their new record, Halo, not breaking any new ground, and that is what makes it even more awesome. We're talking about a band that has kind of pioneered a sound that is pretty much all their own. Like other bands have tried to imitate it, not even come close. That sort of slightly somber, yet still slightly hopeful finish melodeath. Clean vocals, death growls, infectious melody. You want to talk about infectious melody lines all over the place on this record. Super catchy songs. One of the things I love about this band, I saw them twice this year performing a lot of material from this record. All of this material stands up with pretty much anything else that's in their live set. So there again, you want to talk consistency. These guys have been doing it for decades and they are sticking to their story, and their story is awesome. So yeah, if you like Amorphis, if you like the material that they've done before, but you haven't yet checked out Halo, you need to. It is a perfect new addition to their discography. Coming in at number 2 on the list, amidst all the death, destruction, and darkness that sort of permeates my everyday listening experience, I just could not stop listening to this record. I'm talking about Techno by Electric Callboy. It's just fun. Like you guys hear me say at the end of all my videos, take what you do seriously, do not take yourselves too seriously. This is that put into musical form. These guys obviously don't take themselves too seriously. They're very, very keen to poke a laugh at themselves, and it is a fun listen experience. For those of you that aren't yet familiar with what they do, metalcore is a good starting point, but now let's add in a little bit of boy band top 40s pop. It is expertly done. It is a hilarious and awesome listen experience. Even better to see them live too. So I hope that they do finally make it over here to the States to do that now canceled North American tour that they were going to do back in October. I would love to see them again. This was probably one of the funnest listening experiences I've had all year, and it deserves to be this high up on the top 10 list. Finally, at number 1, I got to give it up to this band, man, because the last Surreption record that I checked out, it just didn't really capture the same magic, the same lightning in a bottle that Engineering the Void had. It was just missing something. There was something missing about that last Surreption record. I can't put my finger on it, but I just, man, it just didn't quite have that same something. Well, they found that something, and they put it all over this new record. This new record, Jord, however it's pronounced, from the moment I first heard it on the day it was released, I was like, this is the album to beat for the entire rest of the year, and nothing really came close to it. Surreption does tech death in a way that only they do it, with stop-start riffage, breakneck, headbang riffs. I mean, this is a riff fest all over this record. The vocals are some of the best death growls in the business, if you ask me. But this is just one of those records that you put on and you are not going to stop until it hits the last notes of the last song. You can't help it. It just pulls you in, makes you bang your fucking head, makes you pound the dash of your car as you're going down the highway, jamming out to this thing. And then you just have to put it on repeat and listen to it all over again because it's that goddamn good. I said it before, I'll say it again. Surreption is the only band that sounds like Surreption. So if you haven't heard them yet, this is a great record to get into them with. It is my album of the year. Thank you, Surreption, for putting out such a killer new record. I can't wait for the next one. Given the trend of how often y'all release records, I know it's going to be another 4 years, but all the same, I can't wait. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please remember to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Tons more of metal and guitar-oriented content come. And as always, remember, take what you do seriously. Do not take yourselves too seriously.